Yeah, we'll go through the questions. Paper was simple, right? Darshan, paper was simple, no? Huh? This chapter, Ruchi, you have been for this chapter twice, correct? So full question paper you only have to solve. Okay, we'll see the questions. Temperature at which oxygen molecules have the same RMS velocity as that of helium at 300 Kelvin. Can anyone do this? I don't mind if you do wrong. I'll help you to correct it. But trying is important. Who will do this? One by one. You have no other choice. You have to come up and start. No problem if you do wrong. I'm telling you. I don't discourage students doing mistake. That is obvious, natural, quite natural, making mistake. That is why we are here to correct it. Don't worry. RMS velocity formula, you know. I'll give you the formula. What is RMS velocity formula? VRMS. Darshan, can you tell? 3 RT by M square root. This formula is there. Using this, can you just try to solve? Temperature at which oxygen molecule have the same RMS velocity as that of helium with the temperature 300 Kelvin. You try on the board, not in your book. Come on. Sudeep, yeah. You are nicely answering in our online class. So nice to have you here. And others also. RMS is same. You write 2 RMS velocity, one from oxygen, one for helium. VO2, VO2. Then 3R will be constant, no? T by M, square root of T by M. T of oxygen by M of oxygen. Yes. V helium. Helium. T of helium by M of helium. Good. Now you take the ratio of VO2 by VHE. V of oxygen. V of oxygen. That should be equal to 1. No. V of 2 gas is equal to same. RMS velocity are same. So left hand side, what will be the ratio? Oxygen to helium RMS velocity 1. Left hand side equal to 1. Molar mass of helium 2, right? Temperature of helium is not known, right? Molar mass of oxygen 32. Where is wrong? No? It's wrong. We can even simply have here, no? This ratio, no? So V RMS we can say proportional to T by M. For two gases as V RMS are same, this is square root of T by M. Therefore, we can say T of oxygen by M of oxygen should be equal to T of helium by M of helium. In a simple way, you can solve it. Just try to put in that. Put in that now. What are given there? temperature of oxygen T of oxygen to be found. T of helium is 300. Divide by 2. Into 32. 150 into 32. Good. 2400 Kelvin. Understood? Next, a gas is found to have formula COX times. If its vapor density is 7, the value of X. Can anyone do this? Today, as most of you are freshers here, I will do some of the questions. Next class onwards, what rule I said, you have to follow. Okay, and if you know, I'll give you a chance. If you know, you can just come and answer. I don't expect you to give full 100% correct answer. I'll correct it. Don't hesitate. Be free. Right? The gas is found to have formula COX times. Its vapor density is given as 70. Vapor density is 7. This is based on the empirical formula, molecular formula part. Okay, empirical formula, molecular formula. How do you find the value of X from there? What is X? Molar mass divided by empirical formula mass. Do you remember? Do you remember this? In a question where we were finding empirical formula, then it is converted into molar formula, molecular formula, where X value has to be seen. If CO is the empirical formula, it is multiplied by X. Then you get some molecular formula, right? Based on that. From here, can we find molar mass? From vapor density, what is the relation? Vapor density and molar mass relation. Molar mass equal to 2 into vapor density, right? 2 times vapor density. So this is 2 times 70, 140. We have to find here X. What will be X then? Molar mass is 140. Divide by empirical formula mass. How to find? Add atomic mass of all the atoms present in the given formula. Carbon is 12 plus oxygen is 16. This gives 140 by 28 is 5. So X to be 5 there. Clear? And one more thing, you will be writing these answers for question paper in your notebook itself anymore. You have to maintain a notebook. Some of the chapters we have already done here. Okay, you continue in that same notebook. And the chapters for which you people were missing, that will be repeated. May not be immediately, but we'll see how to repeat it. Okay, but you have to maintain a notebook, and the questions, whichever the question paper we are giving, answer for that should be there in your notebook itself. Solution, not only the key answer, with the solution. So that whenever you require to refer any question paper, answer should be ready in your book, where you can number the question paper. For this question paper, you give some number, maybe 1, 2 in that way. Then same number you put in your notebook where you start answering. You can follow me, right? Am I fast? You can understand? Can understand, no? If anything is not clear, immediately ask. It is your right. Don't hesitate to ask anything. Okay, I'm very comfortable in Kannada also. If you want to speak, I can speak Kannada. No problem. Yeah, fine. Then next one. Which of the given sets of temperature and pressure will cause a gas to exhibit a greatest deviation from ideal gas behavior? When a gas deviate from ideal gas? High pressure, low temperature. So find the options where you have highest pressure, least temperature. That should be option C, no? Option C. Least temperature, highest pressure. Then we have two vessels of volume V1 16.4 liters, V2 5 liters, contain two ideal gases of molecular existence at respective temperature T1 300 Kelvin, T2 500 Kelvin, exerts pressure of P1 1.5 and P2 4.1 atmosphere. When you have this given data ready with you, it will be easy for you to find the answer. The ratio of number of molecules of former to the later, that is number of molecules ratio, is that same as number of mole ratio? Equal number of moles will have same number of molecules, right? Hence, instead of finding number of molecule ratio, we can find N1 by N2, number of mole ratio. That will give your answer same. Which equation has all these data, all these factors? PV equal to nRT, ideal gas equation, right? PV equal to nRT. So what should be N? N equal to PV by RT. Hence, when you take the ratio of N1 by N2, should be P1 V1 by RT1 into RT2 divided by P2 V2, correct? Isn't it? R being common can be cancelled. Now substitute rest. You have to find anyhow N1 by N2 ratio. P1 is 1.5, V1 16.4 by T1 300 into T2 500 divided by P2 4.1 into 5. 4.1, 16.4 goes 4 times. 5 goes here. This will be 6 by 3. That is 2. Hence, N1 to N2 will be which option? D. Correct? Five. Densities of two gases are in the ratio 1:2 and their temperatures are in the ratio 2:1. Then the ratios of their respective pressures. This is a question which relates pressure, density and temperature, correct? Pressure, density and temperature. See, when I have taught this states of matter chapter, we had various equations and I've told students to make the list of equations. This is the advice for all. Anymore, whenever you attend any physical chemistry chapter, as the formula are taught, your work is to do the list of formulae. So that once you have the list of formulae, it is always easy for you to solve physical chemistry questions. Okay, you will practice this formulae every day. At least once you see, it doesn't take much time, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Just once you go through the formula, list of formulae, every formula daily once. What would happen then? Once you read every formula daily, that will be in your memory forever. Okay, here I want the relation between density, pressure and temperature. What relation we have? Density equal to Pm by RT, right? Pm by RT. So here I can say density is proportional to P by T, because I want relation between density, pressure and temperature. Can we say this? From here I can write D1 by D2 equal to P1 by T1 divided by P2 by T2, that will be T2 by P2. This relations we can make. Now you write what are the given. Density of two gases are in the ratio 1:2. That means if P1 by density, right? D1 by D2 is given. This is in the ratio 1:2. That means 1/2. And temperature are in the ratio 2:1. T1 by T2 should be 2/1. Now you use this ratio D1 by, this is D1 by D2. D1 by D2 is given as 1/2 equal to P1 by P2 will keep as such because that ratio is asked. T2 by T1. T1 by T2 is 2/1. T2 by T1 should be 1/2, no? Understood? P1, P2 I have taken here. T2 by T1. So from here, T2 by T1 should be equal to 1/2. Got it? So what will be P1 by P2 then? Equal to 1, correct? So what should be P1 is to P2? 1:1. You have that? Option A. Got it? Sixth question. At STP, a container has 1 mole of helium, 2 moles neon, 3 moles oxygen, and 4 moles nitrogen. Without changing the total pressure, if 2 moles of oxygen is removed, what is the partial pressure of oxygen? But will be decreased by. It is given in percentage. Little thinking is required to solve these type of questions. You just visualize the question now. Let us visualize the question. At STP, a container has, imagine a container which is given with which gases helium, neon, oxygen and nitrogen. How much? 1, 2, 3 and 4 moles. Right? Then what is said? Without changing the total pressure, that means if I keep this pressure as P, another vessel I'll consider without changing the total pressure, which has pressure P itself, 2 moles of oxygen is removed from this mixture. That is helium, neon, oxygen and nitrogen are still there. 1, 2, but from oxygen 2 moles are removed. Now what is left? 1 mole and this is 4 moles. Rest are as such. Understood? This is the question given. Now the partial pressure of oxygen will be decreased by partial pressure of oxygen. What is the formula for partial pressure? Mole fraction into total pressure. Correct? Partial pressure of oxygen is decreased by, how do we get? And its percentage to be taken. Partial pressure, see, partial pressure of oxygen, initially if I take P1, here partial pressure of oxygen is P2. Now I have to find P1 and P2. Then decreased by, therefore decrease in partial pressure will be given by what? Decrease will be P1 minus P2, no? Decrease. So much was the partial pressure before oxygen had. Now is having P2. How much is decreased? P1 minus P2. But answer is given in percentage. Therefore, percentage decrease. How do you take? This is something like you had 10 rupees. You had 10 rupees, that is P1. You have spent 3 rupees, that is P2. How much is the decrease in the amount? How much decreased? You had 10 rupees, you spent 3 rupees. How much decreased? 10 minus 3, no? ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು? 10 rupees ಇತ್ತು, 3 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆದದ್ದು ಎಷ್ಟು? 10 minus 3. 10 is initial you had, 3 you spent or decreased. Now total decrease ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 10 minus 3. Correct? Now given the percentage of that decrease, how do you get? ಹೇಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಿ percentage ಅದು? 10 you had, you spent 3, so decrease is 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 decrease ಆಯ್ತು. I want the percentage that you have spent. Percentage that you have into 100 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಾಗ್ತದಾ? 10 ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದೀರಾ? 100 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? 10 ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದೆ, 100 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಹೇಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? P1 ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ P1 minus P2 is a decrease. If 100 given, how much is the decrease? Then you will get it as ಹೇಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ P1 minus P2 divided by P1 into 100 is a percentage decrease. It is not a formula. Just for this question I have derived it. Got it? Now let us substitute. Let us find all these values. Find P1 and P2. Partial pressure is given by mole fraction into total pressure. Partial pressure of oxygen in the first vessel to be found. X is what? Number of moles divided by total number of moles. How many is the number of moles of oxygen? 3. Divided by total number of moles, how much? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. How much? 10, no? Into total pressure is P. This gives us P1. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ. What should be P2? In the second vessel, how much is oxygen's mole? 1. Divided by total number of moles. 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4. 6 plus 8. 8 no? Into P. Got it? Now you substitute in. Therefore, percentage decrease. How much? P1 minus P2 divided by P1 into 100. P1 is 3 by 10 minus 1 by 8 times P divided by 3 by 10 times P into 100. In this you can take P outside. Then 3 by 10 minus 1 by 8. 8 is the denominator. You get 24P minus 10P divided by 3 by 10. I'll make 10 by 3. This P will be there into 100. Correct? Then this will be 14P and this P. You can take P as a common. Cancels, no? 14 divided into 10 into 100 divided by 80 into 3. That much remains. 14 by 24. 0.5. 14 by 24 gives you answer 0.58 into 100. Comes around 58, right? Answer you have C. That is 58.33. Option C. Got it? Next, compressibility factor of a gas is less than 1 at STP. Its molar volume Vm will be. What is compressibility factor? Z, which is equal to PV by RT ratio, right? For ideal gas it is how much? 1. This is 1 for ideal gas, where if this is 1 for ideal gas, V will be equal to 22.4 liters. That is for ideal gas. If Z is greater than 1, then V will be greater than this value. Will be greater than 22.4 liters. If Z is less than 1, then V will be less than 22.4 liters. Hence, what should be the option here? That is B. Eighth question. Which of the following is not an assumption of kinetic theory of gases? Let's just read the assumptions. Gas particles have negligible volume. Is it there in kinetic theory? Yes, that is one of the important options of kinetic theory. Collision of gas particle is perfectly elastic. Yes. At high pressure, gas particles are difficult to compress. Is there such option or assumption in the kinetic theory? No, that is not the assumption of kinetic theory. So that is the option to be selected here. They have asked not an assumption. A gas consists of many identical particles which are in continual motion. That is there. So option is C. The ratio of rate of diffusions of sulfur dioxide, oxygen and methane. Rate of diffusion. What is the formula for rate of diffusion? Rate of diffusion, you can say proportional to square root of molar mass, inversely proportional to square root of molar mass. Rate of diffusion of three gases to be found. R of sulfur dioxide is to R of oxygen is to R of methane to be found. Can I say this as 1 by square root of SO2, that is molar mass of SO2 is to 1 by square root of molar mass of oxygen is to 1 by square root of molar mass of methane. Correct? Rate of diffusion is proportional to 1 by square root of m. No. From here. Understood? Now we substitute molar mass of sulfur dioxide. Square root of 64 is to 1 by 32 square is to 1 by methane. 12 plus 4, 16 square root. This is 1 by 8 is to 1 by, that will be 16 into 2, 1 by 16, 16 gives square root of 4, 4 square root 2, right? Isn't it? This can be written as 16 into 2 square root. 16 square root is 4 into root 2 is to 1 by 4. Simplify this ratio. How to simplify? Multiply by 8. That makes it 1 is to 8 by 4 makes 2 by, this is 8 by 4. 2 by root 2. How much is 2? 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2. So this will be root 2, right? This is root 2. So I can say this as root 2. Is to 8 by 4. 2. We have that option. First one. Got it? Next. 45 ml of hydrogen gas diffuses. Volume of hydrogen is 45 ml. Through a small hole from a vessel in 18 minutes. Time for hydrogen is 18 minutes. The time needed for 60 ml of oxygen. Volume of oxygen is 60 ml. Time of oxygen, how much? How to solve this? Grams law, right? Rate of diffusion. R of oxygen to R of hydrogen. If you take this ratio, we can say this is square root of molar mass of hydrogen to molar mass of oxygen, which should be equal to V by T ratio. That is volume of oxygen to time of oxygen into time of hydrogen divided by volume of hydrogen. Correct. Why I have taken all these? Because rate of diffusion is not said anything about, it's not given. We have to use molar mass relation here. What to be found? T of oxygen to be found. Substitute 2 by 32 square root, which is equal to 60 by T into 18 by 45. This is 1 by 16 square root is 1 by 4. So bring T to the side. 60 by 18 by 4 into 45. 4, 15 times it goes, right? 15, 3, how much you get? It's 1 by 4. This 4 should go here into 4. Five nines are 12. Hmm? 96, right? You get 96. 16 into 6. Option C. Understood? That is the most common type of question. At what temperature will the average speed of methane have the same value of oxygen at 450? Average speed. What is V average formula? Square root of average. 2 RT is MP, most probable. Average 8 RT by 5 M. No problem if you take 2 RT also, because here we are taking the ratio. It will not make any mistake. But the right formula is this one. What is the ratio to be taken, right? What is given? At what temperature the average speed of methane have the same value of oxygen at 450? What ratio we can take? T by M, right? We can take the ratio of T by M. V of methane and V of oxygen ratio to be taken. Solve it. Can you try, anyone? I've given you the method. They've said at what temperature will the average speed of two molecules are same. Then what we can have, instead of taking ratio, it's given that V of oxygen. What can be done here? Therefore, T by M, this is for oxygen, that should be equal to T by M of methane. Right? Now substitute what are given there. What temperature will be the average speed of methane? Methane's temperature to be found equal to, for oxygen it is 450, divide molar mass of oxygen is 32, temperature of methane to be found, divide by 16. This is 225 Kelvin. Option A. 12. A sample of oxygen gas is collected over water at 23 degrees Celsius at a barometer pressure of 751 millimeter of mercury, with vapor pressure of water being 21 millimeter of mercury. The partial pressure of oxygen gas in the sample collected. Any idea of this question? See, this is a question where they've said oxygen is collected over water. So there is some experiment where oxygen gas, suppose this is a gas collection jar which is kept inverted, oxygen gas will be made to collect in this, where this is kept in a beaker. Water will be there in the beaker. So that as water enters into this, it will bubble out and gets collected here. Some experiment will be there where oxygen gas is produced. If I want to know the volume of oxygen, I cannot take that oxygen in a vessel and find the volume, right? How will you know that so much is oxygen? You just think in a dry jar, you are collecting oxygen gas. How will you know that what is the volume of it? Whatever the volume is given, it will occupy. Correct? If that volume is 1 liter, jar is 1 liter, how much ever oxygen you spend into that, it will occupy that 1 liter. That is the nature of gas. That is why if you want to know the volume of a gas, it should be collected over water such that as more and more gas enters into this, water level will decrease. So whatever this empty space, if this vessel is jar is graduated, that means mark is there to measure. You can find how much ever the empty space you get, that is the volume. Understood? Hence, whenever we require volume of a gas, we cannot collect the gas in a empty vessel and find the volume. We have to collect it over water. This is said as collecting over water. So that we'll get to know how much water the gas is collected. Understood? Experiment artha aita. Why not directly it is collected? You will not get to know the volume of gas. If directly in a jar, if you collect gas, you will not get to know. Always it will be 1 liter. Correct? But if you do this, as gas pressure increases, water level will decrease. So that you'll get to know the volume of the gas. But problem in this case is when a gas passes through water and it will not get collected dry gas. You have seen in the morning mist. What is that mist? Whatever the dust particle or air particle are there, over that water is accumulated, right? Condensation of water over the dust particle or air particle. That is called as mist in the morning. Same as that, this oxygen gas when goes through water, what would happen? Will it get collected here dry? In the dry form, that will get accumulated by water molecule. If one oxygen molecule is there, it will get surrounded by water molecule. Same as that, the complete gas gets saturated by water vapor. Therefore, what gas is collected here, this will not be dry oxygen gas. This will be oxygen plus water vapor. But for the experiment, when we talk about the property of oxygen, we require only the pressure of oxygen, not this total pressure. This is total pressure. Whatever the pressure you measure here will be total pressure of oxygen plus water vapor. Understood? Therefore, in such case, we deduct the water vapor's pressure, which is called as aqueous tension. You have heard aqueous tension, which is given by the symbol F. What is F? It is the pressure of water vapor, which is even called as vapor pressure. Pressure of water vapor or vapor pressure or aqueous tension, these all are same. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟಾ ನಾನು ಹೇಳುದು? ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಸ್ಲೋ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿ. I am ready to repeat it. Got it? You understood? What is this experiment? So here I can say pressure total. That is, whatever the pressure we measure, that will be equal to pressure of dry oxygen plus aqueous tension. This is the concept. Over this, the question is given. They have said total pressure is 751 mm of mercury, which is equal to pressure of oxygen plus vapor pressure of water is given as 21, right? So what is pressure of oxygen? That is what asked. 750 minus 21, that gives 730 mm of mercury. But you don't have this option. But there are two options given in atmosphere. Can we convert this mm of mercury into atmosphere? How? 760 mm mercury is equal to how many atmosphere? 1 atmosphere, right? Now here we have the answer. 730 mm of mercury is how many atmosphere? Cross multiplication. That gives 730 by 760. Now you just see the options. Don't go to calculate. See the options. There are two options with atmosphere 0.96 and 1.02. Obviously, this should be less than 1. 0.96 should be the answer. Answer is 0.96. Understood? Next, 13. In an experiment during the analysis of carbon, 217.5 liters of hydrogen was collected at a pressure of 760 mm of mercury and temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, that is 300 Kelvin. What is the mass of hydrogen? How do you find? Relating PVT with mass. PV equal to nRT. N is mass by molar mass. Hence we can have PV equal to mass by molar mass into RT. From here, what to find? Mass to be found. W is the symbol for mass I'm using. Okay, not to confuse with molar mass. That is why I'm not using M. Weight. Weight stands for, here I'm taking as W. W will be equal to PV into M by RT. Right? Substitute. Pressure is given 760 mm of mercury. Just listen. Be little careful when you have the term R in the equation. R. What value you are going to take for R? There are different values. If you want, I'll give you again the values of R depending on the units. You just have a note of this. R can be in SI unit. The value of R in SI unit, it is 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole, or R can be 0.08, 0.82 or 0.83. Two values are there, nothing to worry about that. 0.08 is sufficient. This will be atmosphere liter per Kelvin per mole, or 0.08 bar liter per Kelvin per mole, or R equal to 2 in case of calories per Kelvin per mole. These all are the different values based on its unit. Okay. Here pressure is given in mm of mercury. We don't have any value of R in mm of mercury. Hence safe to change this pressure into atmosphere. 760 mm of mercury is 1 atmosphere, right? Now you have liter and atmosphere. Now select the value of R. This is how you are going to select the value of R. By seeing in the given data, volume and pressure given in which unit, accordingly you have to take the value of R. Pressure is in atmosphere, volume is in liter. You can take this value of R. Followed. Don't blindly use always 8.314. That is only when Kelvin, the SI unit, you have pressure and volume are in SI unit. Otherwise, you can convert this volume and pressure, everything to SI unit and use that value. There is no meaning in converting so much. Directly use it because your answers are in which unit? Grams. Anyhow, you can now, whatever you use, you'll get the answer there, whichever unit. But be careful of that. So this will be 0.08 atmosphere liter per mole per Kelvin or Kelvin per mole. Pressure is 1, 217.5 into which gas is this? Hydrogen, right? Therefore, molar mass is 2 divided by R 0.08 into temperature 300. This is 217 divided by 12. Right? That will be around 200 by 10, around 20. Your answer should be nearby 20. 17.6 is nearest answer is there. Correct? So this is how you will approximate your calculation. There your answer should be near to what? 20, no. 200 by 10 if you make near to 20. Then select your answers. Any near to 20 answer is there. 17.6. Option C. Clear, no? Then 14, the volume of 1 gram of methane, ethane, propane and butane each was measured at 350 Kelvin and 1 atmosphere. What is the volume of butane? Mass is given as 1 gram of butane. Pressure is 1 atmosphere. Temperature is 350 Kelvin. Volume of butane. What is the formula of butane? C4H10 is asked. What equation we can use here? PV equal to nRT, right? PV equal to mass by molar mass into RT. 1 gram each. That means butane is also 1 gram. We don't require rest of the gases. So we are bothered only about butane. So V of butane equal to mass 1 gram by molar mass. How much will be the molar mass? 4 into 12 plus 10. 58, no? 48 plus 10, 58. 1 by 58 into, okay, again, which one will be the value of R? Here options given are in centimeter cube. Which one will take? 0.08. We'll get answer in liter, convert it into centimeter cube. So this should be 0.08 into temperature 350. Find the answer for this. Whatever the answer you get, that will be in liter. How do you get it in centimeter cube? 1 liter is how many centimeter cube? Multiply by 10 raised to 3. Whatever the answer you get, take 10 raised to 3 in centimeter cube. You find that. This will be 0.495. So this should be 495. Option A. 15. At what temperature in Celsius scale, volume of certain mass of a gas at 27 degrees Celsius will be doubled, keeping the pressure constant? Can you guess which law this question based on? Pressure is constant, volume and temperature relation is asked. At constant pressure, V is proportional to T. Charles' law, right? This question is based on Charles' law. They've kept constant pressure. At what temperature in Celsius scale, a certain mass of a gas at 27 degrees Celsius will be doubled by keeping pressure as constant? How to solve it? We can have V1 by T1 equal to V2 by T2, right? Isn't it? Or V1 by V2 will be equal to T1 by T2. Is it? At what temperature in a certain mass of a gas at 27 degrees Celsius will be doubled by keeping pressure? That means V1 by V2 should be equal to how much? Doubled. Correct. This is equal to 27 degrees Celsius is 300 Kelvin. T1 by 300. Correct? Huh? T1 equal to 600 Kelvin. But options are in degrees Celsius. How do you get? Minus 273, no. Kelvin to degrees Celsius. That gives you 327 degrees Celsius. Understood? Why I have taken this V1 by V2 as 2? They said it, volume is doubled. Volume is doubled. Next, density of two gases are in the ratio 1:16. The ratio of their rate of diffusions. How do you find this? Rate of diffusion proportional to 1 by square root of density. Density of two gases are in the ratio 1:16. That is D1 by D2 is given by 1 by 16. Rate of the ratio of their rates R1 by R2, which is equal to square root of D2 by D1. If D1 by D2 is 1 by 16, D2 by D1 should be 16. No, square root of 16. That is equal to 4. So R1 by R2 should be equal to 4:1. Therefore, R1 is to R2 equal to 4:1. 17th question. Rate of diffusion of methane at a temperature is twice that of X, molar mass of the X. Again, this is related to rate of diffusion, which is proportional to 1 by square root of M. Correct? They have given rate of diffusion of methane at a given temperature is twice that of X. If you take rate of diffusion of methane, CH4, divided by rate of X equal to M of X by M of methane square root. What is said? Rate of diffusion of methane at a given temperature is twice that of X. So this to be 2 times Rx divided by Rx equal to M of X divided by molar mass. This is 16. So 2 equal to mx by 16 square root. We can square on both sides. You get 4 equal to mx by 16. Therefore, what is mx equal to 4 into 16? That is 64. Got it? Option A. 18 onwards. we will solve in the next class. But as question paper is in your hand, you solve it. I'll ask you to solve it on the board next class.